So we've got some quite good industrial stuff for you. We've got a really old chimney flue for you that goes up the hill to an old chimney on the top. We've got an ice house, we think some air raid shelters, and a lost village that's now under a considerable amount of water. Anyway, let's crack on. Hello, my name is Martin. Welcome back to another video. We're in a chimney flue, an old chimney flue. Where are we, James?
We are in Norden.
Norden, just outside Rochdale, looking at some old industrial remains, courtesy of this man here that I ran into in Tesco, and he said, oh, I've got a place I can show you. So this is Colin, he knows the area, he's showing us around. There's some cracking stuff here. This is the chimney flue, like I say. I'll show you where we are. Right, so we've got Timmy. So we've got Timmy with us, and Timmy's mate Sid. He thinks this is all a lot of nonsense, and to be honest with you, Timmy gets on his nerves a little bit because Sid's a little bit older, a little bit more sensible. But Sid likes to get out a bit, he just likes to go exactly where he wants to go. So this week we are in Norden, and it's just to the northwest of the town of Rochdale, and we're about 10 miles north of the city centre of Manchester. We've actually been here before, but wonderfully there are more industrial ruins to take a look at. This beautiful chimney stands valiantly on the hillside, a reminder of what used to be here: industry, mills, cotton mills, woolen mills, dyeing and bleaching. It was all here just outside Rochdale. Behind the chimney the land drops down, and that valley has been formed by one of our old friends, the Naden brook. So after walking up what felt like the steepest hill in the world, we finally get to our chimney. And it's a corker in all its squareness. Lovely nice bit of ironwork around the sides of it. Someone's obviously cared for it at some point. And you'll notice here that the flue is attached to it and very, very accessible. So we're going to take a look at that. So we can go in there and we can take a look, and we might even be able to get a look up the chimney. Can we, Colin?
Yes, we can.
Well, we can. There you go.
So where are you going in there?
I'm going in the flue.
Ooh.
I hope I don't catch the flue.
You don't get that.
Right, so weirdly, there's like a rumbling noise, and it's the wind. But look at all this pigeon shit, which is not good. You look up top there. So here we go. So there you go. Looking up there now, just getting some light.
You have this like felt suit, black felt suit.
There you go.
In front of you.
And you can see sort of steps along. I don't want to spend a long time here because it's full of dust and shit. But there you go, that's inside the chimney. And I'm coming out because I'm breathing in shit here. And that's going back out. Now if you look at this amazing Britain from above image, taken sometime in the 1940s, usually these were taken, you can just see our chimney there in the top corner of the photograph. On the hillside next to a reservoir, there it is. Now you'll see how the chimney flue runs above ground and leads all the way up to the chimney. But behind us, behind the camera, there is a steep-sided valley, as I've already mentioned, and at some point this flue that we're going to walk in has to drop down the valley. So let's get inside this flue here. We've already looked at the chimney, haven't we? Let's get inside the flue. We'll walk down and see where it goes to. Quite sooty on the floor here. Quite intimidating. Look at all the soot there. Incredible. The kids are behind us. That's Roy anyway. So apparently it was one of it's a very, very long chimney flue, and it came up the side of the hill. And it goes down. We're walking from the chimney now towards where the boilers would have been, but we're not going to find them anytime soon because it's a bloody long flue. But it looks like we're out of here now.
Right, stop.
There's some daylight coming in. So obviously all sorts of bits where panels and stuff for maintenance. So after a brief period of daylight where there was obviously a bit of a break in the wall, it started to drop downwards, and it got a bit difficult walking. So, well, this is and you know how steep the hill is. Look at that. Would you look at that?
What's it like? Come on, have a look.
James, you're going to get done for getting so dirty.
I know. Well, I'm bad actually. Got a shiny torch, I'll get a shot of that.
It's one small step for one man, one giant leap for mankind. Is that good enough for you?
No.
Right. Really sort of muddy and sooty here now. You get me? Yeah. You see can you see how steep it is? But obviously you saw the valley that we're in, the Naden Brook Valley. So that's why it's so much like this.
Well, I've managed to get down and film. I don't know why you found it so difficult.
You're amazing, Roy.
Correct.
And obviously here they've got some steps now. You getting it?
Got them as well, carry on talking.
Steps here now. And you can imagine being in here back in the day with, well, you wouldn't have been in here, but roaring gases, hot gases and smoke firing up all over the place. James is up there somewhere, up at the top. Wave your torch, James. Sure. Yeah, you can see how high we are. And then we're almost out here now.
Very good down the hillside.
Interesting.
All part of it anyway.
Yeah. Really a bit demolished with the houses. So.
You can see there the way it's been kind of smashed into there, and you see it on the side of the hill there where we've come down. Incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. So this is a very long chimney flue. I mean, obviously it's been broken into behind us there now, but the next bit didn't go that far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up for you till you get to the end, and I'll show you what's at the end. Now the flue carried on even further, but what we've got now is a building site where there's going to be houses. So it's been broken into again, and the bottom part of it's gone forever. So there you go, a bit of a building site there, and somebody's going to live there one day. But what did it serve? Okay, so here is our chimney here, up on the hillside by the reservoir that you've seen in our video. And the flue goes down here, and the flue obviously served the boilers for this Woodhouse Mills. And if we zoom in there, it was dyeing and finishing. And from what I understand, as I've said, they use vast quantities of water for dyeing, so hence these reservoirs here. The flue either connected somewhere here to the mill, or I'm guessing this could have been a boiler house. This is now a building site for some new houses, but we've got the chimney and we've got the flue to about here, which we're going to, or we have investigated. This little reservoir here, I'm going to show you remains of it, and obviously there was another one next to it. But you can see how industrial it was. One mill here and another mill here, tenter house, bleaching and dyeing. And then you've got the tenters here. And what these would have been racks where they would have put the cloth on and stretched it out and let it dry in the on a good day in the sunshine, or it would have been maybe been covered. I'm not quite sure. There's not a great deal of information about this area. But there you go. The tenters were there where they dried the cloth. But there you go. That's our chimney. Flue went down there. Remains of an old reservoir I'm going to show you, and Woodhouse Mills is now a building site and the building houses there. So this apparently was a reservoir we're looking at here now. You wouldn't think it, but the giveaway is, there's the sides of it there, because they needed loads and loads and loads of water for bleaching and dyeing. Absolutely tons apparently from what I've read. So it's definitely been like a little artificial reservoir. You can see, can't you? Big tank over there.
It's tough, isn't it? Oh,
Stuff at the top.
where are you? James is up here. Do you like these Mordor?
Okay, so having walked back up the valley, we're now going to follow the Naden brook down the valley to another sort of like historical remain. And now it's not industrial, but it's just as interesting. So let's go and check out this. Right, Colin, what have we got here? What is it? Looks intriguing.
I think this is the old ice house, which used to be for hire tenter house, which is just over the other side of them trees there.
Right. So like a big posh house, was it?
Yeah.
I think I've seen it on the maps, I'll show you on the maps, but an ice house, we've seen one of these before, so we'll pop in and take a look.
So I think this is the top of the ice house. Are you two going in?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going in.
Go on then.
Right, come on then, after you.
Me first.
Shall I come inside now? Don't throw back. Here we go.
Right, so we're coming there, round here, and you can see what we're in here. I've put my torch on as well, so it's nice and lit. Very nice, very old. Look at that arch at the end. We'll go towards the end. It's a bit muddy in here.
We brought our boiler suits.
Yeah.
What suits?
Crawling. So, as we know, as we've seen before, these things can get quite deep. Usually bowl shaped. And it is bowl shaped, look at that. So, wonder if we can go in the middle there.
Yeah.
So, and there's the top. Fantastic. So we'll go in, see what it's like. This is all leather, by the way. This is all leather, by the way. It's been dumped in here. Awful. I'll send you up there through the hole.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. There's Gary and James and Timmy.
You see how deep it goes down here? Yeah. They've been digging it out, haven't they?
Hey?
I said you can see how deep it goes.
It's alright, it's just full of leather, isn't it?
I think they've been digging it out to make a pond or something over there for fish. That's what the rumour goes.
Top like this.
Oh, big spider there.
So we'll go back out the way we came, let Roy get some photos in here. Well, look at all this leather. This leather is old. This is from a tannery that used to be around here, apparently. So we'll show you the way out. Ow. Love the domed and the bricks. Ah. Yeah? So,
Grab her because they've been cleaning it out, haven't they?
so out we got. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And out we go. Okay, so this ice house, you can see this is where we are in the Naden Valley. This is the Naden here, the Naden brook. The ice house is in these woods here, and we think it served hire tenter house, which no doubt was probably some fairly rich industrialist that had his hand in this here. There will be something online that probably gives the history of this place, but I've not been able to find it. But we are suspecting the ice house that's here served hire tenter house, and that's where we are looking at this ice house. You found something. What is it?
We're just looking around and it looks like some sort of like drainage site, but it's got a nice little stone arch and then a pipe coming through it.
You're like a pig, aren't you? Snuffling for truffles, aren't you? You're real good, aren't you? Roy's in there like a pig in shit. So it is some sort of drainage thing, isn't it? Looks like.
Oh, taking water from the river, I'd say. I don't think it's two pipes, so maybe one's drainage. One's in and one's out, innit? Can you stick right in there?
I will.
Goes a long way back.
What are you two doing?
Having a look in there. Oh, look at that.
Having a time with the lathe.
Look at that.
Right, Colin, ice house, fantastic, and I never found that. Where are we going next?
Well, these concrete structures, I'm not quite sure what they are, but just further along this way again now.
Right, go.
So, the dogs obviously have got their own Sherpas with them.
Sid is a king.
And I think Sid is enjoying just completely relaxes, enjoys being carried, doesn't he?
Oh, he loves it.
I will not walk through that, just carry me. So this is a little forest full of wild garlic. and it's quite toxic to dogs apparently. So Gary's job again, Gary was with us that day, and his job again was to Sherpa Sid through the wild garlic.
When you're getting filmed.
Trying to act like you know you.
What was he saying? What was you saying? What was that you were saying? You utter useless. Yeah.
Help us up.
I'll open him up now. Come on. Come on, Pete.
So, whilst we were falling around in the woods, we finally found the mysterious concrete bunkers, shall we call them? I'll let you decide. Anyway, let's go in.
So I think this is an air raid shelter personally.
Yeah, this is.
Look at how it's all crumbling in there.
That's bad enough there. Look at that.
Oh yeah. So the hill, I reckon the hill is literally pushing in on that.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually this is going to collapse. This has got to be some sort of air raid shelter, surely.
I think this possibly is. The other ones couldn't do as well. I'm not going over that here.
I'll have a look.
No. Should we go on the next one?
That's not
Just show it.
looking good. So you can see that there, you can see what it is. I mean, is it an air raid shelter? It could be, but the walls are literally bulging, right?
So there was another one that we could go all the way to the end of. We think air raid shelters. Second choice maybe storage. What do you think?
These must have been air shafts and Matt probably. With some kind of filter on them.
Storage. This is bulging as well. If you can see the bulge on the left hand side of the wall there. Steel topper over concrete. I can't. Maybe it was an air raid shelter, but
Just while they were raiding.
and obviously a load of crap has been dumped in here now. And that goes back out to the woods. I don't know. I think an air raid shelter. I'll leave it up to you to decide. So apparently I've missed something, and I'll leave it to you to work out what it is. The sword and the stone. Right, all this crawling round in chimney flues.
Yeah.
Bird shit dust.
Brew.
Brew. So as you know, this week it's Roy's turn to make the sandwich.
And then we said, oh, you might need to make some sandwiches, Roy, but we give him 3 days.
No, this is how it went. So today's Sunday. 2 days ago on Friday, I said to him, so you make the sandwiches for Sunday. There was a 4-second pause where all wiring to his brain stopped, and I kid you not, stopped, and he paused like that, and then honestly the earth stood still, right? And what I got was this. So he's been off this week. He's been a lot of jobs around the house, haven't you, Roy?
Yes.
And what I got was this, and I'm not even joking, right? I just need a day to relax. What, a sandwich? A sandwich? I've been busy all week. I need a day just to relax. And I went,
I've got to get ingredients.
I need ingredients. I need to go shopping. I went, you've got all day free tomorrow, Roy. It's a sandwich. Thousands of people across the UK make a sandwich in 4 minutes flat. So we don't know what's on this sandwich. Yeah. We don't know what's on it. I've had some glimpses of what he's made this morning. Looks like to be a lot of butter. Anyway, so we'll see what's going on. So there we are, nice refreshing brew. And there's Roy's sandwiches. What's inside, nobody knows, but bacteria, we're convinced, consistently grows.
Cheers, Roy.
Ooh.
Cheers, mate.
Right. Roast beef.
Roast
Onion.
beef, onion, salt, lettuce, and mayo.
How did the lady at the shop tell you about lettuce?
And of course, Lurpak butter. Because I was going to use Marge originally.
Not bad that. You get one, Gary?
Or maybe one. No.
Not bad that. It's alright that. The onions make it.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
An 8.
8.
Nice.
Well, as you know, with me, sandwiches, they have a vast range and you can go anywhere with a sandwich. But I would give that 8, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 as well. It's quite good that. Probably the highest scoring sandwich we've had so far, to be honest with you, Roy.
Oh,
and he worried, he panicked a lot. What
Fresh
would you give it?
ingredients.
I think I'd give it an 8 as well. But
Yeah?
No, I went easy on the ingredients, not too much of anything.
Now you may be wondering on the last video, the white collar hall, that was filmed a while ago, that was why that was back to cake. But we can't go, we're back on savoury. I can't go back to savoury now. Anyway, yeah, so that's why we're on savoury, because white collar was ages ago. Anyway, well, Tim, well done, Roy, all the trauma wasn't worth it, was it? Right, so we're going to another chimney flue. So if this is the chimney flue, where was the mill?
Underneath the reservoir there.
You're joking?
No.
So the mill for this predates a reservoir?
Yeah.
So a mill that was underneath this reservoir had a flue that went up the hill?
Yep. To that mound we saw.
And obviously it's got to be true because we're about to walk up the flue, but we're by the reservoir. This is incredible. We'll have to get them all maps out, we can check it out. Here we go. Is this a crawl then? Right, here we go.
Did you watch monkeys?
What, the
Northern monkeys?
Oh, yeah, I've seen them, yeah.
On YouTube? Yeah.
Right, I'll pass me that and I'll film you coming in now.
Oh God. So this is a lot steeper, I'm told. So we'll have a look behind the camera in a sec. Okay, so this next chimney flue we're going to look at was for the Green Booth Mills. Now this map is dated late 1800s, early 1900s, and there's Green Booth Mills. And there's a steep-sided valley here, and there's the chimney. But the question was, why go down to the waterside to take a look at the flue that runs up the hillside here to this chimney, which is now gone? Well, watch what happens when I take time forward. Watch what happens to Green Booth Mill, the little village that was around it, and this long row of cottages here that was obviously built for the mill here. By the way, have you noticed that it's disused even on this old map? Let's take time forward. Well, would you look at that? The whole valley became flooded for Green Booth Reservoir. And that's why we had to make our way down to the reservoir to find the flue that went up to the chimney up here. So look at that. The actual mill was down in the valley that got flooded for a reservoir. Now they would have pulled all this down, but down in the bottom, no doubt, of the reservoir there'll be remains of some of these buildings probably, because as we know they only ever got sort of like piecemeal pulled down. And if we do have a very, very dry summer, we'll return to Green Booth and see if we can see any remains of this lot. So in 1958 work commenced. The McAlpine Construction Company began constructing Green Booth Reservoir on behalf of the Haywood and Middleton Water Board. Green Booth Mill had been set up in the 1840s by James Butterworth. It was a woolen mill, woolen finishing, dyeing and processing. He built 46 houses for the workers, and he paid the workers partially in tokens so that they could exchange the tokens for goods in the local store. The village was never connected to the electricity grid, but it did, however, have gas. And coal was brought to the mill and to the village by an overhead bucket system from a local colliery. Apparently on a Monday, a big copper vat was brought out full of boiling water, and the local ladies could come along and fill buckets and take it back home so they could do the washing. Anyway, when it was announced in 1955 that all the cottages will be compulsory purchased and Green Booth village will be demolished to make way for the reservoir, the village had been in decline for a number of years. Green Booth Mill had long since closed. So by the time that announcement was made in 1955, of the 46 houses where that housed residents, 20 of them were empty, and you can see in this picture they've partially been demolished. And so it was that eventually Green Booth village would be flooded by 700 million gallons of water for the Haywood and Middleton Water Corporation. Bloody hell, it is steep, yeah. So it's a bit of a scramble up there, and you can just see you might not be able to, but Timmy's at the top there.
Dial your power down a minute, let me use this.
A lot of loose bricks in here again. It's very, 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 very dodgy. Jesus, we're going to look brilliant in this with no hard hats. So it's basically a climb.
Well, given what we said earlier about the mill, Greenbooth Mill, this was probably constructed around about the 1840s. Quite steep going uphill here, and it was probably done by cut and cover. It's just below the ground level. Imagine the hot gases and the smoke that transferred up here being drawn up by the chimney up on the hill, which is now long since gone. So quite a bit of toil here to build this thing, construct this thing in the steep hillside. And you can see what they were up against from this old picture here. If you look there at the mill and the houses down in the valley, look at the hills on the side, and that's what this flue goes up. It goes up that steep hill on the side.
Pain, isn't it, James?
It's cool though. Got timber ball.
Be careful, Roy. Colin will get the worst of it.
I know, yeah.
Okay. You know something? It's not far off. It's not vertical, but the angle is incredible. I'm telling you now. Oh, hang on. That was dodgy.
You're alright now?
That was not comfortable.
James, the resident pig. Timmy! Whoa!
How steep was that?
Yeah, very steep.
So obviously of all the days we needed hard hats, we haven't got them today. We didn't know.
What it was going to be like.
I'd had a brief preview of the flue from Colin, and it looked like a completely square passageway. It was fine. Didn't realise it was there was so many of them and it's quite so dodgy.
We do have hard hats, but
We do have hard hats, but we've just not brought them today. So thank you. We know. We'll put them on next time.
So there is more to this chimney flue. It's in 3 sections, and what makes it 3 sections is the parts of it has collapsed. So there's 3 accessible sections. So I'll just show you this bit. I'll speed it up because you have kind of seen it. Check out the steepness on it, because again we're going uphill here. And then the final section is in the middle of a field, so I'll show you that in a moment. Interesting here, the stone base and then the brick dome on it, and obviously all constructed at this quite steep angle.
You know, so animal bones. Yeah, a lot of animals over the years have come here, obviously died. You get confused, don't you? Can't get out. No. Yeah, maybe a fox or something. So is it in there, Roy? Yeah, come and take a look. Show the people.
And then you can see from the state of the bricks, it collapses again. And then the next section that you can get into is in the middle of a field here, just hidden away from view, but Colin knew where it was.
Right, so here we are. Believe it or not, where that mound is there was a chimney, and the only clue we've got is this here.
You can see more clearly on the drone footage where the chimney was, where the red X is there. You can see that little mound, that circle, that's where the chimney used to stand. So the final part of the flue, in we went. It was a bit of a squeeze, and this was in a really poor state of repair. So here we go.
We've got a pose for a photograph. Roy's in there, he's going to get a photograph. I don't like these bricks behind me. Oh, it's nice. Have you ever seen a square peg in a round hole? A rather tubby square peg. Look at them boots he got given to him.
a lot of carcasses.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the chimney on the hillside with the drawer on it, sucking the fumes up this final section of the flue and throwing them out into the atmosphere to poison the people of Rochdale, as did thousands of chimneys in the area.
It's a bit dodgy in here because the ceiling is really falling in. There's loads of loose bricks, so I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to turn around now and go out. I'm going to get a photograph if I can. Anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks, Roy, for the sandwiches. Actually quite good, despite all the panicking.
Told you there was no panic.
It's fine, yeah. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye for now. And from Timmy and Sid, it's goodbye from them too.